Utah, we have LaunchUp.
Our first company is Kyle Mathews. He's the founder of Eduglu. Did I say it right? And it's a social learning platform with more behind it than that, but that's how I look at it. I've talked to Kyle several times over the last, probably year and a half, and he keeps working on this and plugging on it, and I think he's made some good traction. And I think there's a lot of innovation happening right now in education, and the way that we learn is drastically outdated even today, and it's just getting worse and worse. And so I think it's some exciting things. I always read the answers to what 3 lessons / observations would you tell other entrepreneurs question. And Kyle says, number 1, the size of your questions determines the size of your answers. Number 2, you really can be an entrepreneur. It just takes a lot of time and effort. And number 3, stay humble. You're a lot more naive than you think. So Kyle, come and tell us about Eduglu.
Just tell me when you need the video.
Okay. Hey everyone. So Eduglu. Eduglu is something I've been working on the last 2-3 years. And Eduglu is a hosted social learning application. It's designed to run online courses that are social and that teachers and students really like to use. It's open source. You can download it. It's really customizable. It's got a lot of great features. So it all began about 3 years ago, like a lot of startups, as a school project. I just wanted to, play around with technology and some ideas that I had running around my head. And I built this. Looks a lot different than it does now, but that was the first iteration of what's now Eduglu. And now, 2.5 years later, there's about 1,200 people who signed up, about 750 active users. A lot of the information systems, what it was built for, and mostly used still by, it's gotten a lot of activity. So I want to talk a little about the context of around Eduglu and learning education today, and kind of why I'm doing Eduglu and why I think it'll be successful and why it'll make the world a better place. So first trend is changing nature of education. It used to be 100 years ago, you go to school, you go to college, you get an education, then you just work the rest of your life. The stuff that you learned growing up was enough to kind of, counting and other things, just didn't change. But the world is changing so fast now that we can't rely on the things that we learn in college. We have to continue to be learning. And we need to be kind of continually going back to school. And so classes need to be short, semi-continuous, and social. Second trend is the higher ed bubble. We've been talking a lot about the housing bubble. This is a graph of the housing prices the last few years, the big crash. But this is the graph on the same thing of tuition the last 30 years. It's just skyrocketed out of control. And this isn't sustainable. People are getting mad. And the big established players aren't changing. This is leaving a lot of room underneath for kind of new types of schools that are lighter, more flexible, more responsive to student needs. And also it's leaving room for new kind of learning software, which is also lighter weights, more flexible and responsive to students. Third trend, massive demand higher ed, developing nations. There's just hundreds of millions of new students coming aboard. They're demanding higher ed in India, China, and so forth. And the existing infrastructure of those countries cannot support those educational demands. It was estimated India would need to build 2 universities per week for the next 25 years to educate everyone in kind of a traditional fashion. So that's not possible, obviously. So they're looking at alternatives, and online education is kind of the big theme that a lot of people are arriving at. So Eduglu is designed to solve these big problems. There's a lot of big opportunities and big problems to solve in the education space. And it's a really exciting place to kind of be in. And so now I have a quick demo of what Eduglu is as of this afternoon. Hi, so I'm going to love Eduglu. So as I explained earlier, BYU Island was kind of the original version of Eduglu. And if you were to download Eduglu or sign up for a hosted version, this is very much what like what you'd see there. So this is the default homepage for Eduglu. It shows recent activity in the different groups on Island, or whatever your Eduglu install is. And in Eduglu, anybody can create a group for all different sorts of purposes. And up here, if you click on my groups, you can see some of the different groups that I've created. And so if we go into one of the groups, like the
ISIS, or Information Systems Group, we will see discussions that have been happening there. And not only that, but within each group you can turn on different features or different little mini applications. And while we're waiting there, we'll flip over here. One really nice thing about Eduglu is that it has complete integration with email. So this is a thread about what are you creating. Somebody's asking, like, kind of show off different things that you're doing so we get to know each other better. And you can see there's the post and the 19 comments. And if you flip over to Gmail, to my email client, you can see all the same things. And you can start this thread and reply to it all through email. So back now to the Information Systems Group. You can see up here the 3 different tabs. There's the Discussions tab, which is what we're on here. There's About tab and a Polls tab. These are examples of features or applications that you can enable within a group. And currently Eduglu ships with 5 different features. There's the Notebook feature, an About feature, Discussions, Job Board, and Polls. So here's an example of the Polls application. You can create a poll, vote on it, comment on it, and so forth. Here's an example of the Jobs board. It's a really nice job board. It gives a lot of use from companies in the area looking for BOU students. And here's an example of the Notebook feature. This is in a class, and they've kind of put different documents and information that are useful for the class. And this is kind of the magic of Eduglu, that you can create these kind of custom social learning applications. And Drupal provides a really nice framework for building these on. And I think this is really what kind of the lesson Facebook has taught us, that there's all these kind of computing type things that we did on our computers, on the internet, that used to be all kind of isolated and you just do them by yourselves. But Facebook and other kind of social applications like that have shown us how much more useful and more fun and engaging these applications are when you make them social, when you let them work with other people. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with learning education, is build kind of a social learning application that schools and other people can use. And Eduglu, because it knows about who you're friends with and who you're taking class with, it can help you to learn better with those people. Learning has been very isolated and for too long, and I think that we learn far better with other people, and Eduglu is designed to make that happen.
Okay, so that last part of the video wasn't too interesting, but anyways, so yeah, so that's Eduglu. How much time do I have left? Okay, so we're done. And this is kind of my help needed. More customers, that's always nice. Seed investment, introduction to people in our industry, mentors, and so forth. So now we have 7 minutes of questions.